What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Power Play with CJ. Today we're going to focus on what the Winnipeg Jets should do with the 13th overall pick in this month's NHL entry draft. If you've seen my mock drafts, I've pretty much had them taking Zach Fakale all the way. Goaltender for the Halifax Mooseheads. They really don't have a blue-chip goaltending prospect in the organization. They could very well trade out of that pick and still get Fakale later on. But if they choose to not go the goaltender route, I can see Nikita Zadorov making sense if he's still on the board. I don't see him being there, though. Anthony Mantha, possibly, but I also have him off the board at the time. And, in terms of forwards, maybe Adam Rene or, Valentin Zykov, Bo Horvat, maybe even Max Domi. Could be a lot there. But in defenseman, I think Ryan Pulock would make, perfect sense. Brandon Weekings, blue liner, really gets some intriguing offensive upside. They just drafted Jacob Trouba last year, and having those two as cornerstones of your blue line going for years to come would be amazing. As they look to really establish an identity in Winnipeg. They've been up there, one full year, and then the lockout shortened year. So this is gonna be the first year that they really, the honeymoon's kind of over with them, where they're now, I think, expected to win. And whoever they draft isn't gonna be, the be-all, end-all. I don't see really having any impact on that next year. But as an organization, they really have to have a mantra of what they're trying to build to sell it to their fans. Because fans of Winnipeg are not stupid. They're great hockey people. They got one of the most rabid fan bases in the NHL, and rightfully so. It was wrong that they didn't have hockey for almost 20 years up there. But what do they want to do? What do they want to? How do they want to play the game? Is it going to be built from the crease out? In that case, draft Fakale. Do they want to stock the blue line up? In that case, Pulock, maybe Zadorov. But could be any number of things. But like I said, I think Zach Fakale would be a good thing, because I think he'd be a long-term answer between the pipes and Winnipeg. And that's what you need. You need to build from the crease out. You look at the last two Stanley Cup champions in LA and the Boston Bruins. And it's funny, both John Quick and Tim Thomas were later round picks, and Thomas escaped a journeyman for a while. But, those two teams won the Stanley Cup because of their goaltending, so I think Winnipeg should address that need, because I don't think Pavlik is, really a viable NHL goalie going forward. He's passable, but, do you want to compete going forward? I think Fakale can develop into a guy like that, that, you can rely upon to be, a guy that will win you the Stanley Cup. it's high praise for a kid, but this kid just won the Memorial Cup last year, put up unbelievable numbers along the way. Sound like an idiot. I think he's what you need for Winnipeg. And, like I said, the honeymoon's over. They had the welcome back season. This season was shortened by the lockout. So this will be the first, 82-game season that, it doesn't have the welcome home thing going on, or, with a full training camp and everything else. So it's going to be an intriguing mix, and I think they owe it to their fans to get this pick right. And I think they will. I think this is a very deep draft. And I think they'll definitely walk out of there with a blue-chip prospect to help build the franchise up. Anyway, that's our next episode of the Power Play with CJ on what the Winnipeg Jets should do with the 13th overall pick in the NHL entry draft. Stay tuned for more episodes throughout the finals and beyond. Later, guys.